Welcome to Dreaming with Intention, where vision meets action. I am your host, Mariko Bennett, and every other week, we explore bold dreams, purposeful planning, and inspiring stories to help you blueprint the life that you love on your terms and with intention. So let's get started. Grab your notebook and get ready to take some notes. All right, so I'm super excited today because I have the fabulous Sommer who has joined us in studio. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
I'm excited that you joined us. I'm excited to hear your story. And more importantly, I'm really excited for you to share your story with our listeners and our dreamers. Because you have done quite a lot, young lady. As a middle-aged lady, I know I wasn't supposed to say this. I said, you're not supposed to tell people you're middle-aged. I'm like, I think they already know. But anyway, I'm quite impressed. When I read your resume, and I've seen all of the things that you have actually done, I'm like, okay, let's go. # goals.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk about it. So where are you from? Let's talk about like how you got like your home life, your upbringing, where you grew up, your parents, your family life. Tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed there until I was 12 years old. It was just my parents, my brother, and I, and we had a dog.
Okay.
The sweetest little dog ever. But anyway,
what's the dog name?
Logan. Yeah, he was so sweet. So stayed there until I was 12. Then we moved to Toronto for my dad's job. He worked for Chrysler. So that was like 2008 when the stock market crashed and all that. We moved to Toronto. We were there for 4 years, and then we moved to Detroit.
Okay.
There for 4 years, and I came to Howard. And then I bounced around a lot before, during, after Howard too. But yeah, I've just moved around a lot, and I have a very close relationship with my folks. Like, the other day was sitting on the couch and I started crying, thinking about how close we all were, because I thought about like us four, we just up and moved to Toronto. We didn't know anyone. We didn't know anything. All we had was each other. So we have a really tight bond.
I love that. And your brother is older or younger?
Older, and I have an older sister as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that for y'all. I love that. I think family is really important. I have 3 kids myself. My in-laws live with me. I'm 15 minutes from my mother. I've never lived outside of moving to Atlanta and going to Clark Atlanta University. I've always thought I needed to live by my mother for some strange reason.
No, it's not strange. I wish I could live by my mom and my dad.
Yeah. Where do they live now?
They're in Raleigh, so it's the closest we've been since we all lived together. And I'm like, can y'all come up here and help me?
Yeah.
And they'll come.
Yeah, I live on this side of town because it's 15 minutes from my mother.
Yeah.
It's a little, I guess it's problematic. And then when I meet people, they're like, oh no, my mom lives in this state or this country or whatever. I'm like, dang, I can't imagine that.
No, it's terrible.
It's a whole thing. So I love that, and I love the closeness to your family. I think that ultimately being loved and supported really, really matters.
It really, really matters.
And so I talk about that actually with folks' visions and manifestation. And it's actually one of the reasons why some people fail to reach and achieve their dreams. It says lack of proper support. And so proper support is really important. You can get proper support from folks that are not family, but you do want to make sure that you know who you have in your tribe is really supporting you.
Yeah, that's so true.
So let's jump into your professional journey.
Okay.
And I also like to know who people are, and I don't think that our professional journey is actually who we are per se. Thank you.
It's what we do.
It's what we do to create a living.
Yeah.
But people get really confused.
No, there's a difference.
There's a huge difference.
I had to learn that difference.
And I'm glad you learned it early. I did not learn it so early.
It's hard. I mean, you say you know it, right, until you're actually tested. Like, who am I without all of this?
Who am I without all of this is a different question. And you've done a lot of things. So, your journey has taken you from Howard University, which you talked about. And then you've gone to major media outlets. Some of the outlets that people can only dream of. BET, NBC, Fox, CBS, NPR. And now you've got the Summertime production. So just walk us through that journey. Walk us through. We're going to sit back and just kind of hear Where'd you start first? Did you start as an intern in some different places? Okay, walk us through. I'm gonna be quiet. It's your turn.
So as you know, I went to Howard, and my sophomore year, I studied abroad in Barcelona. And that's really what I think like awakened me, because before that I was like, I don't really know what I want to do. I don't really know what I'm good at. Like I'm kind of just here floating. So I studied abroad in Barcelona. That like awakened some spirit in me that was like, nah, you gotta go and get it. Like it was always there, it was always underlined, but when I went to Barcelona, that's when it was like cracked open, like, nah, it's time. So when I came back, I got very serious about the work that I was doing. And I was like, okay, let me really sit and think, what am I good at? Because you know how everybody has like a trick, like everybody knows how to do something, like they have some type of special talent. I never thought I did until I really sat with it. I'm like, I'm a communicator. I need to be in that. So I started interning at NBC4. That was my first internship. I literally blew their emails down until somebody answered me and gave me an internship.
That's right.
So I started
Gotta
there
be aggressive.
with Donna Weston, black woman who hired me. She was real cool. And then after that, obviously once you get something on your resume, things start rolling. So then the next semester, I interned at WSA 9 with Bruce Johnson, who was really cool. He just passed away. Rest in peace, Bruce. And then I went to Fox, and that was really weird and interesting, but it was a really good lesson for me.
I was going to say you grew, right?
I needed it because, I'm at Howard, right? So then you have Howard on one side and Fox on the other, which taught me a lot. I'm like, I'm not ready for these type of rooms, but I need to be. You have to be prepared. So I interned at Fox, finished that. I was like, whew, never want to go back there. Then when I graduated, I didn't have a role waiting on me like everyone else did, So I was like, well, you know what? I'm packing my car up and I'm driving up to New York. Drove up to New York, stayed on my best friend's couch for 3 months. I interned at this like weird little agency that I did not enjoy. And then I got the NBCU page program. And I actually want to mention that because I went in for the interview. After the interview, I texted my friend. I said, I'm going to get accepted into this program. A couple hours later, I got accepted into the program.
How did you know?
I just knew. You know how sometimes you just know? You just feel it?
Your gut.
I just felt it. I'm like, I'm going to get into this program. And the acceptance rate to that program is very, very, very slim. So sometimes you just feel destined,
Yeah. And I say you have to believe in yourself. So you have to dream it, you have to believe it, and you have to pursue it.
Yeah.
So you have to believe.
Yeah, and I did. And it's funny because we had to like take this test while we were there to like see what our top traits are. My top trait was belief. I'm like, okay, I like that. So I wrote that. But from there,
when you believed in yourself, when you packed your car up and lived on your friend's couch for 3 months,
I didn't know
and
what I was
drove to New York to figure it out.
But I said it's gonna get done.
That's period.
Get done.
That's me all day.
So throughout that time, I had been working with BET as an associate producer. And then I went to CBS once that program ended, and then I went to NPR. Because CBS, I was just looking for a job. I was like, let me just take a job while I'm looking, and then I landed at NPR. And then I started my own company.
Now, how long have you, are you at both? You have your own company and NPR. Okay.
Yes.
How long have you been at NPR now?
4 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love that. And then what about your own company? How long have you
That
had?
has been 2 years.
Okay, so share a little bit about what your company does.
Yeah, so it's Summertime Productions, and I created it because I've always wanted my own show.
Okay.
Like, when I was younger, like living in St. Louis, my little young self was like, I'm going to be like, Oprah came on at 4 o'clock. I'm going to be like that. And I never knew how, but I was like, I'm going to. So it was always just...
So Oprah's your North Star also?
Yeah, in some ways.
I mean...
Yes.
Right, Queen O.
She inspired me.
She inspired me.
Yes.
She inspired me too.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, she's inspired the masses, clearly, of all the generations.
She has.
Yeah.
She has. You come home from school, Oprah's on television.
Because I'm an old millennial. They call me a geriatric millennial. That's sad. I don't ever want to be geriatric anything, but I'm geriatric millennial. What about you?
I'm actually Gen Z.
Gen Z, okay.
I'm on the cusp though, so not
you geriatric.
Yeah, Gen Z, exactly.
We share that. We share geriatric. Okay. But so I love that she's inspired both. Okay, so you knew. You were sitting, you were like, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. And then all these like companies I worked at, I'm like, so I'll do this, but I want my own show. They'd be like, no, we need some more experience. You're not ready. We don't want someone like you. And I was like, well, I guess I just give it to myself. So I started it myself. So I host a show on there. I do workshops, public speaking, panels, all of that good stuff.
So you do workshops. So tell us a little bit more about what it's summertime, right?
Yeah.
You got it right. Summertime production. So tell us a little bit more about like the workshops and programming, and then how like our dreamers and listeners might be able to, call you up and get some support and help with some production they're trying to do.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I teach branding. I teach how to build your own podcast, and I also teach professional development. And what's really important to me is like when I do something, I want people to feel fulfilled after. Like I think we have a lot of mindless entertainment out right now. That's not what I provide. And if anybody wants to get in touch, it's so interesting because now like Instagram is the way I get in touch with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So I'm on Instagram at SommerFH, and Sommer spelled with O, or my email is in my bio. So I'm always open to new work.
I love that. Okay, fantastic. We love that. Okay, so out of all of those experiences, right? And so you've bounced around, you've worked in a lot of different places. And I think that a lot of times, like you had this vision from your couch on productions, right? And I talked about, I had a vision for myself when I studied broadcast journalism and then ultimately finished with a degree in communication speech, right? Okay. Presentational speech at that. And so I saw audience, I saw me standing on stage, I saw lights, camera, action.
Yep.
But to get there, the amount of work that I had to put in, and it wasn't just a 4-year degree.
No, that's just the beginning.
That was just the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. And so, the manifestation work, and I always talk about my 4 C's of manifestation, crystallizing. So we were clear on our vision, right? Mm-hmm. And then customizing that plan, right? So we had to like work a plan, like we finished school, like we had to study. You moved to New York, packed your car up, didn't have a place to stay. Like, you cultivated the work. Then we went to we customized a plan, and then we cultivated the work. Mm-hmm. And I think oftentimes when people are in that cultivation stage, right, when you're putting in the work, you even had to go into places at Fox that weren't even that friendly, right?
Yeah.
According to, your experience.
Yeah.
And so I love to tell people about that journey and that work and what that looked like and it wasn't always easy, I'm sure.
No, none of it has been easy. None of it has been easy, but all of it is like, every time I take a next step, I'm like, oh, I see why I had to go through that. You're always reminded, like, all of these lessons are preparing you for something else. Mm-hmm. And there's always going to be another journey, like, there's always another mountain to climb. But because it's fulfilling for me, because it's always been a desire of mine, I don't mind climbing the mountain. Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why I started my own company, because I'm like, I'm working so hard for these companies, these corporations, right? I need to be putting that into myself. So that's why I started mine, so I could be putting that hard work into my own company.
Okay, so, and I really like to dig deep in that. You said something else. I didn't mention the 4th C, but you're absolutely right about the curate phase, where you're like tracking and monitoring progress and what worked, what did not work. And I found in the curate phase, I wrote myself $1 million check once.
Oh, I love that.
And I did it, and I manifested it.
Oh, I love that.
In that phase, I realized, oh, damn, I need more. That's not what I thought it was going to be. And that's not, that's still not as big of a team as I thought I would have. And so then I had to go back in and fine tune it and measure it. And so even sometimes when you have a dream, and you mentioned it, right? You have this beautiful dream, you've crystallized it, you've manifested it, right? It just always doesn't feel like what you thought it would once you've manifested it. And so, to your point, I also worked in corporate America first. I did 12 years, and then I started several companies, and 9 years later, it was the best choice that I ever made, I will say. And I believed in myself. And what I said was, if the billionaires can believe in me, I can absolutely believe in myself.
Yeah.
And it's manifested. It's been a vibe. But I think a lot of times people get lost in having this vision for themselves and not understanding that they actually have to do that 3rd C, which is cultivate the work. And when it gets tough, that's where people start to quit.
Yeah, that's when most people drop out. And I think that's what separates a true successful person is that stage right there. Yeah. They'd rather stay here and okay, I need to keep crystallizing. No, baby, it's time to do the work.
It's time to do the work.
Yeah, they don't want to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to do the work, and the work is hard. But what helps and drives you when the work gets tough and hard?
So I was just talking about this the other day. Like when we think of like, what is your motivation? Like I kind of look at that as a privilege, right? Like it's a privilege to be able to rely on something to motivate you. But what are you gonna do when like that thing that motivates you is not there, right? So I had to find some like really intrinsic, like really deep values that can motivate me. And I decided it's gonna be my breath. Like as long as I'm breathing, that is my motivation to keep going. And then if we take a step outside of me, like my parents, right? As long as my parents are working, that's motivation to keep going. And then another step, like as long as my brother and sister and my nephews and nieces don't have what they want, they have what they need, but they don't have what they want, then that's motivation for me to keep going. And then one day I want to have a family and I want to be able to provide them with everything they want and need so that they have the blueprint to do what they want to do. And that's my motivation to keep going too.
I love that. You understand your why. And it's always important. Your why is what is supposed to drive you when things get difficult and hard. Physical body is what I'm working on right now. And what's driving me is my 45th birthday and my outfit. So understanding your why, I think, is super critical and really, really important. And it's one of the things that we talk about in the book, The Blueprints to Manifest Your Dreams. And I just feel like people think it's supposed to happen overnight, and it takes time, right? I feel like practice builds mastery.
Yeah.
And without that practice and without going through the tough times and without pushing through, it's really difficult to get there. My other thing that I talk about and I want people to really understand is accountability support, right? And so, like when you're really trying to work on something and you're really trying to manifest something in your life, like I would say if it were easy, it would have already been done, right? But through the difficult times and the difficult moments, having accountability support and a group of like-minded individuals who you roll with, I've just found that to really be an incredible support for myself.
No,
what about you?
Yeah, I call it my creative board of directors. Like they don't even know they're on my board of directors, but they are. I have like a group of people who I think are smarter than me, more creative than me, are doing really cool things that I aspire to do. So they're on my board of directors, and if I ever have an idea or like I need to bounce something off of them, they're always available to like lift me up. I believe in like surrounding myself with people who are doing better than me, because then naturally you'll be pulled up as well. Especially people smarter than me. That's my favorite. Like just learning from people and talking to them. I really enjoy that, but it's so necessary. It's so necessary for people, because I told people I wanted my own production company before I got it. And they were like, okay, where is it at? Where is it at? And I'm like, oh, I'm waiting on this. I'm waiting. And then you start hearing your own excuses. And I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and start this.
That's right. Hearing your own excuses. Yeah, I don't like hearing like it. I can't deal with it.
I was like, come on now.
Yikes.
And then the respect that people has for you is different after you have started your own thing or after you've done what you said you would do. Prove yourself reliable and an executor.
I'm just looking. What she said. Yeah. Just say it. And speaking of cool kids, so you've been able to interview some really fun and cool kids, right? Yeah. So kind of who are some of your, I don't know, can you have favorites? I think we can have favorites.
Yeah, well, I have some like moments that were really impactful, like Felicia Rashad, that was incredible. Gervonta Davis, that was also a really cool experience. Lamont Roach, Big Flock, Mama Coca, like I have talked to some really cool people. And I'm so honored that they felt like comfortable in me to share their stories with me.
Mm-hmm. What made them so cool? Was it that their stories? Is it their platform? Is it that they honored you with their presence? Like, what was it?
Well, all of them have like, so Gervonta and Lamont were kind of on accident. Like I kind of stumbled into boxing on accident. And just the way that they were like open to talking to me, I was like, for real? Like, okay, because I'll shoot my shot always. And when it actually lands, I'm like, wow. And then Mama Coco, I had found her on this Netflix documentary called In Our Mother's Garden. And I used to watch that documentary all the time. And I would scroll to her part. This was me manifesting. I didn't even know it. I'm like, man, I want to be her friend so bad. So then I end up interviewing this guy named D. Watkins. Mm-hmm. And he had posted a picture with Mama Coco. I'm like, how you know Mama Coco? He was like, "You want me to set it up?" I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
So he set it up, and now that's my friend. And I'm like, no way. Like, I would have never thought. It was so cool.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the power of storytelling and intention, right? And so, and I loved what you said. You were like, if you looking for like mindless, meaningless conversation, that's not why we come into Summertime Productions. It's just not what we're doing. You want to be intentional. And you want to be with your storytelling, right? And with your interviews and the conversations that you're having with people. So can you, and would you describe yourself as somebody who's deeply curious?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what pushes me to do everything.
I tell people that when they first started my companies, I'm like, I'm gonna need you to be really curious, almost nosy, almost to the point of being really nosy.
Yeah, right? No, it is borderline very nosy. I mean, they kind of go what and what. I can be both, for sure.
It's kind of how you get stuff done, right? Like, I mean, so, and I also describe it as like homework, classwork, and research. And so if you haven't done your research and you didn't do your homework, like,
you have to be all up in people's business. Like, I'm talking going through, I'm even comments. I'm reading it all. Like, I'm going to see who tagged you in this, what they were talking about. Like, I'm reading it all.
I love that. That's all my language right there. You were talking about borderline nosy. You said I look at the comments. I go to all the things. Yes. Okay. So then how do you balance that with like being, spontaneous, right, in these interviews, right? So you've done the research, you've done gone through the comments, you've done your homework. And then how do you just find an opportunity to just be spontaneous with the conversation as well?
Yeah, so what I like to do is instead of like preparing questions, I prepare talking points. And when I'm preparing those talking points, I like try to make them fluid. So I'll go through the conversation in my mind. I'm like, okay, this is a good segue, and this is a good segue. So I think of like either words or like moments and opportunities that will remind me of something. So during the conversation, we'll be talking. I'm like, oh yeah, that did remind me. How about this? And I just like to make it fluid. Like, it always does come up because I have it here in my memory bank. And I really like, before I film, I sit like in silence for like maybe 5 minutes, and I just go over everything, and I go over like the flow of the conversation. And for some reason, I haven't forgotten a piece yet. And it just comes up, like, because either they'll bring it up or I'll bring it up.
I love that. So are you doing more podcast work, or is it like more film work when you're interviewing folks? Is it radio?
So based off like what podcasts look like today, yes, this is typically a podcast, but I like to call it a show because I always wanted my own show. Right. And so for this next season, it's more of a show. We're out. We're not sitting here at the seats. We're out in the environment. We're going to get food. We're walking around. We're playing games. So it's like segments. It's broken up. It's a show. But
what kind of games do you like to play?
I don't like card games. I know. I do like spades. That's the only
Okay, all right, fine. That was what I was looking for.
Miss me with Uno. Miss me with all of that. Like, just, I like, I did a relay with this. We went to a pool. We filmed at a pool. Okay. So fun. And he didn't know how to swim, which I didn't know before.
How you gonna do a relay with somebody that don't know how to swim? Oh no!
We did a swimming lesson. Oh, he made it across, so I'm proud of him. His name is Pre Hefner. He's pretty interesting.
I love that. And so whose idea was it to meet at the pool and do this relay? Okay.
I was like, you know what? It's hot today. I want to film in the pool. And my show's called Summertime, so it does just only make sense. I had this little pump.
So actually, we should have done it in the pool.
Yeah. I would have loved that.
Okay, that's cool. Well, we said we're gonna do something.
Yeah, we're running back.
We'll figure out what we're gonna do. But the pool's open, and I'm always looking for a pool party. Just saying.
You just call me.
Okay, I got you.
I love a nice little swim.
We doing that. I love that. That's creative and fun. I like that. I love that you're bringing creativity into the conversation, and I think that does make it much more than a podcast, and much more. And it makes it a show. Yeah. To your point.
And it inspires. Like, we just saw Bambi. Like, that was so cool. That's a nice little addition to the conversation. It's just inspiring.
It is inspiring, right? Yeah, I know. People want me to share more of me with them instead of just this. They're like, can we get to see more?
They want to see you.
They do. Yes. They do. And so I have been balancing showing me
Mm-hmm.
with being scripted. But remember, I'm middle aged, so and I came out of big corporate, and so big corporate was always scripted.
Yes,
it was never off the cuff.
No.
And your voice wasn't necessarily yours. Exactly. You know that.
Exactly.
So I'm excited that you actually get to work at a big brand and still create your own voice. I am too. And have your own space. Yeah.
And that's why I had to, because I'm like, I will lose myself in this if I don't have an outlet for my own self. So that's why I had to create it off to the side where I get full creative control and autonomy.
I love that for you. I'm excited. Okay, so now I got to go back to my scripted pieces and just make sure that I'm covering everything. And I think we actually covered this. But for my other entrepreneurs, let's talk to some of them, because both of us have worked in organizations, right? And as I said, the billionaires have trusted both of us to do our jobs. Thank you. And then we trusted ourselves. But entrepreneurship is not for the weak.
My goodness. I will say, believing in myself has always been easy. Trusting myself, that's the hard part for me.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
So, you'll have creative ideas. And like I told you, I have like a creative board of directors. And I used to feel like every idea, I need to ask them, like, is this a good idea? What do y'all think about this? And I'm like, you know what? I need to just trust in my creative vision and just execute on it and then see how it lands. Like, it may go well, it may not. I always believe, like, okay, I'm going to end up here one day, but like trusting myself through the process, that has been the harder part for me. That's the process that I'm still working through.
I love that. I think that somebody needed to hear that. A dreamer out here who is listening to this podcast needed to hear that. Because I'm such the opposite. Now, I hire people to tell me what I can't do. Because I dream so big. Yes. And I believe in my dreams and my ideas and my visions. And, and somebody said, is that your gut talking? And I'm like, well, I wouldn't call it my gut, but I said, you know what, fine. It was my intuition. It's my gut. I have more conversations with God. I believe that every vision that is put in my heart and head is for me to actually execute.
And it is.
Yeah.
And it is.
I believe so. And so, but then sometimes people are like, what's the pay for? Like, how are we affording this? How you paying for it, Mariko? Yeah. And I'm like, don't worry, it's coming.
Right.
And so trust, it's coming.
Yeah.
But that's not always a business strategy, and that's not always, so it's worked. Today.
And it will continue to.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But see, I'm not going to listen to that. It works. I'm keeping what I got. I'm not changing it. So, talk a little bit about purpose, right? So, I have these 3 P's. I say that people do things for profit, passion, and purpose. And so when you think about your purpose, is it Summertime Productions and the intentional conversations that you're having? But what do you think your purpose is right now?
I think my purpose is to be a communicator and to share the stories of people and the story of myself. I know that when I speak, I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for all the people who came before me, who made this opportunity possible. I'm speaking for all the people who came after me, who can now do it because they have a path, I think my purpose is to be able to shed light and to share light. And I think that's why my name is Sommer, to bring light to situations, bring light to the room, to bring, knowledge to situations. And I feel like I've been able to do that through storytelling.
That's beautiful. I love that, Sommer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cole, for bringing Sommer to Dreaming with Intention. We like her. Don't the dreamers like her? She's great. She's fabulous. And I'm super excited to now be in community with you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to all the great things we're going to do. Okay. So, Dreaming with Intention is a resource for those that want to manifest their dreams and to create a blueprint for what they want to manifest in their lives, right? And or drive self-improvement. Because sometimes I think with certain, you know, dreams and visions that we have for ourselves, I don't know if we reach full manifestation, right? But as we're working toward, it's definitely driving self-improvement because we're taking small steps toward that big picture, that big goal. What's some of the resources that you use as you are pursuing your dreams?
That's a good question. So, social media to me is a tool. I use it as a tool. I use it to expand my reach, my brand, reach new audiences. So, to me, that is a resource. Another resource, I'm a big reader. I love reading. So, I am reading all different types of books, whether it's for inspiration purposes or it's for motivational purposes.
Give us one book that the readers can go pick up that you really like.
So I read this book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and I read it in 2017. And since I read it, actually everything has changed for me because that's when I realized, like, okay, I'm my own problem, but I'm also my own solution. And so I started making solutions for myself, and then things started aligning. It's pretty interesting, like how much you actually control, like the path that you create, like. You create it, you know what I mean? Like the decisions you make, you do that. So you can decide where you're going to end up. And that book really put me on to that.
Okay.
So I like that. Some good podcasts that I listen to that inspire me, like Jay Shetty podcast. It's really good. Well, some episodes are really good. And I actually fall asleep sometimes to like vibrations and, the sounds, like the hertz and things like that.
I do know.
I sleep wonderfully. And before I fall asleep, like I just meditate and manifest on what I'm looking forward to. I sit in my gratitude, and that feels good too. But I wake up feeling so splendid after I fall asleep. It hurts.
I love that. Okay, I love that. And so I know we have to close because I know you can't be with me all day because you didn't bring your bathing suit to the pool party later or anything.
Next time.
Okay, next time for sure. Okay. So what would you like to just leave our listeners who we call dreamers? Like what would you, your parting words for them as we close out our segment today?
I would say so some people can consider me a perfectionist. I don't consider myself a perfectionist. I consider myself an executor. So what I want to say to people is like, don't wait till it's perfect, just do it. Do it scared. Because a lot of these things that I've been doing, like I'm kind of scared to do. Like I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know if I'm equipped. I don't know if I have the fundamentals. Like, you can talk yourself out of it, but do it anyway. Like do it scared. And so that's what I say before any interview, before any public speaking event, anything like that. Do it scared. Just do it. Because the person you want to be is on the other side of that fear.
I love that. And so I'm a perfectionist. I admit it. It is what it is. However, I have an affirmation. So I have a set of affirmation cards. And the affirmation that I wrote for myself, because I find that being a perfectionist sometimes can hold me back.
Yeah, exactly.
It almost can start to become procrastination because it's not perfect. Right. So when I find myself doing that, I say, I will not let pretty and perfect get in the way of my progress.
Oh, I like that.
I will not let pretty and perfect get in the way of my progress.
Yes.
And I love what you said, do it scared. And so I've had to let stuff go. Like, okay, let it go. Yeah. It's fine. Because on my worst day, I know it's better than most because I'm a perfectionist. Exactly. So it just is what it is.
Yes.
But I love that. Do it scared.
Yeah, just put it out there.
Just put it out there. Yeah. Do it scared. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for this conversation. You blessed my soul being here.
You blessed mine. Yeah. I appreciate it. It's such an honor whenever people want to talk. I'm like, look on me. So it means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.